From one Pennsylvania U.S. Senate Republican candidate to another, we welcome now Steve Welch. Steve, thanks for coming on today.
Bob, thanks for having me.
Well, this is your first time on, and I'd like to give you a chance to get your message out, just like we let Sam out. What do you want people to know in these final 24 hours, or just in general about you?
Sure. My background's quite a bit different than most that run for office. I'm a Penn State engineer who started a company when I was pretty young called Mitos in the biotech industry. Was fortunate and bootstrapped that business over a period of about a decade. Recently sold that, and now I have a venture capital firm, kind of a unique model that's not too far from you, Adam, over in West Philly at 34th and Market, where we help entrepreneurs literally take an idea on a napkin in a very short, intense period of time, turn that idea into a viable business. In the last 4 years, we've turned out 64 companies from that program, and it's been a huge success. Been in Wall Street Journal, Forbes is a new model for American innovation. And my reason for getting involved in politics is, just in the last decade, Adam, we have made it harder and harder and harder for people to start businesses, for people to operate businesses. I think the problem is we have too few people in Washington that have ever done anything. We have too many career politicians that just cannot comprehend the unintended consequences of their decisions, in which they layer bureaucracy on top of bureaucracy that is making it so people can't make decisions in the business climate. And that has to change. And I think in Pennsylvania we have a unique opportunity, Adam. In 2010 or 2012, make no mistake about it, the road to the White House is going to run through Pennsylvania. Control of the Senate is likely to run through Pennsylvania, and that's why this Senate primary is so critical.
Steve, you left out one big credential of yours. You're also a good writer, very organized in thought. I have a copy of your book, We Are All Born Entrepreneurs, here, and I don't expect you to talk about it one day before the primary, but maybe after the primary, even, if you win, I'd love to talk about that with you at some point, but just have to say you're a good writer also.
Well, I appreciate that. That was one of my favorite projects. I've always wanted to write a book, and I sat down and interviewed several hundred entrepreneurs, trying to understand what they did right early in life, what they did wrong, and try to tell stories that would help other people that are going to go through that process of starting a business. So I appreciate the kind words.
Steve, I think that your focus on job creation is exactly where it is. As James Carville said, it's the economy stupid. And in this particular case, it's job creation. And your real-world experience with job creation gives you an instinctive knowledge, not necessarily that wonkish knowledge of all the details, but you know instinctively where to go and what's a good policy. We'd like to mention, too, that you have a venture in Israel. We are Chai95 and focused on that issue.
Well, yeah, it's unique among the five. Yom HaAtzmaut was a few days ago, Israel Independence Day.
So could you just give us a second or two about your experiences in Israel and what you do over there? And so you have international experience.
Yeah, sure. I've spent a year as an Eisenhower Fellow. I'll come back to that. But the Dream at Israel, so the concept behind Dream It was really to help people take that idea. People often have an idea in their head, and there's usually a handful of things where if those things are correct, the idea is really good, there's a business there. If those things aren't right or aren't correct, it's usually not a very good business, and you need to pivot. You need to go in another direction. So we're really good at helping entrepreneurs do that. And what we realized, and we've been spending time in Israel, is there was a huge need to help Israeli companies do the same thing. So Dream It operates in Philadelphia, but also Manhattan, and now in Israel. But the Israel model is a little bit different. As you both know, Israel is a pretty small market. So Israeli entrepreneurs have a unique challenge, and they have to be able to get their products to either the U.S., Europe, or Asia. And often, while they're very technically strong, they're also usually not really good at what we call customer acquisition, actually, marketing. So what we do is they stay in Israel for a month, and we have 5 companies in Tel Aviv right now that are going through that program. And after a month, they're going to come to, one class is going to come to Philadelphia, one class is going to come to New York, and we'll start working with our marketing people that have built businesses from scratch here in the States, and helping those companies get to market in the United States. We think it's a really unique model. We don't have any results yet, so we're hoping it's going to be a very good model. But so far, we're really encouraged. We have the 5 companies that have come into Israel are just absolutely dynamite technology companies, and we're very hopeful that when we bring them to the States here, we'll help them get to market here.
Thanks for indulging us with that. And I guess, is it true that Israel gets more VC money now than the entire continental Europe? I don't mean to get too off track, but you would know better.
I don't believe that. I think per capita,
okay.
It is true per capita, and it is true also. There's more patents per capita in Israel than anywhere else in the world.
But getting back to the Senate race, the contrast of your 1-minute diatribe against Bob Casey, who has never had a private sector job, and only imagines himself to be a venture capitalist, you are in fact a venture capitalist with your own money or with your investors' monies and not with taxpayer money. So I think you're going to offer an extremely clear contrast to Bob Casey and his statist big government views. What other than the job creation issue and the economic issue, what are your other issues that you think Senator Casey will be vulnerable on?
Well, I'm sure every candidate in this race has said it, which is this is the guy that has voted with Obama 98% of the time. The reason that's so important to get out there is across the political spectrum, people are frustrated with people that go to Washington and vote strictly upon party lines, people that are clearly making decisions for political reasons as opposed to what's in the best interest of this country. And Bob Casey is a good example of somebody that clearly has done that, has operated basically on the premise, whatever the president tells me to do, that's what I'm going to do. The irony of Casey is actually when he's broken with the president, he's broken to the left of the president. He is one of a handful of senators that voted against defunding ACORN. Actually, one of 3 senators that voted against defunding ACORN. He's one of a handful of senators that voted against the free trade agreements with South Korea, Panama, and Colombia. These were agreements that had huge benefit to the Pennsylvania farmer. So he actually has a 0 heritage rating. He has a 0 Club for Growth rating. He is the most liberal senator in the entire United States Senate.
Well, Steve Welch, thank you for taking the time. We took more than we promised we would. I know you have an incredibly busy 30 hours in front of you. Good luck tomorrow, and hopefully we'll talk to you after the race.
Great. Vote Steve Welch tomorrow. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Steve.